Do you want to start the episode or?
I swear to God, if you put this in your video, I'm gonna.
So the last episode on the Element, I showed you that it had a burnt up valve, cylinder 2, and I need to replace that valve, but I found a better option, and that was a friend of mine, Blake, up in LaGrange, has a complete cylinder head that he is willing to give me because he's such a nice guy. So I am driving north to meet him to pick up the cylinder head right now and hopefully get this Element back together and get it down the road. Now I have a cylinder head, so that's covered, but I don't have a cylinder head gasket kit. So now I'm driving all the way to Louisville to pick up a cylinder head gasket kit. I live an hour south of the city, so it's a little bit of a drive. But if I want to try to tear down and put back together this car in a one weekend span, I got to do what I got to do. So on the road again. Every time I'm the first person in a parking lot for anything, I always feel so awkward. Like they're sitting behind that tinted window just staring at me like, what does this dickhead want? It's 8:54 on a Sunday, bro. Get a hobby. Well, this is my hobby. This is my hobby. And we're back. All right. Head gasket kit. It's got intake manifold, exhaust manifold, blah, 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 all that stuff. We got coolant. We got oil. We got it. Come on. Timing chain tensioner. Hopefully it's the right one. Haven't opened it yet. Looks right. I should probably not pull that pin, but I feel like I should pull that pin. Should I not? I probably shouldn't. I'll just put that back. So we have a clean head surface. I went ahead and cleaned the piston tops as well. So that's good. We have a clean cylinder head. I cleaned this up as well. We are ready to slap back together on this unit. However, one thing to consider. This thing burnt up a valve very badly on cylinder 2. I still don't know why it burnt a valve up. So what came first, chicken or the egg? When you do repair work like this, always think a little farther than just replacing the part that failed. In my mind, something got hot and toasty in that cylinder. So I'm also going to take the injectors, pull them out of the rail, and have them cleaned and flow tested to make sure we don't have a fuel problem. If it was bad gas, drain the tank, whatever it may be. But something occurred in that cylinder that caused that to happen. It didn't just fall apart on its own. Never seen it just fall apart on its own before, unless you're talking about me performing in front of a live studio audience. New head gasket on. Make sure your dowels are on. Cool, good to go. Clean surface. Sorry. There we go. Cylinder head is on. Next is head bolts. You're gonna drop your head bolts into your head bolt holes. There's 10 of them on a K-series. Follow your factory service manual for torque sequence and pound footage on those units. Okay, so once you tighten down the head bolts, the next step is you take the key and you just put it in the ignition and you give it a shake. You just give it a little Shakira. Those hips don't lie. And then you put the clutch in. You give this a jiggle. You make sure your anti-corona defense mechanisms are there. And then you just go ahead and, let's see. Oh, yeah! That's all it takes! Oh, a little dusty though. Let me clean that up right there. Look at that. That's all it is. That's all it takes. Easy as pie. Okay, so obviously that's not how it goes. But I got some good news for everybody. I don't have any other videos of putting the thing together. And that's good news because then you don't have to watch me fumble my way through working on a car. The bad news is that I use an app called Splice to upload all my videos, to make all my videos and to edit them. It's free on App Store. And I upgraded the app in the middle of making this video and it deleted half of the videos that I had put together for this project. So it's been a couple weeks, obviously, since I bought the car and I don't have the rest of the install together, which sucks. But the good news is everything went together great. Car's outside, obviously. I have been driving it to and from work for a couple weeks. The title is in the mail coming here. I already had the car sold to somebody that wanted to come pick it up. and I actually backed out on selling it. The whole purpose of this series was like, hey, look how you can make some easy money or get a daily driver together. And I planned on selling it, and then I decided to daily drive it instead. My reasons for that are pretty clear. I have this Ford Escape. It's got low miles. It was belonged to my mom, and when she passed away, it ended up in my hands after a while. So it's a lifer. It's going to keep it forever. I got my truck that absolutely eats fuel and maintenance. Just from an expense standpoint, obviously having a diesel and having a 100-mile-a-day commute can get expensive. So the Honda came in clutch, and that's a pun because it's a stick shift. But to round the video out, I wanted to go through the cost standpoint of what it costs, and I kept all my expenses on this tape on my garage door. $1,500 for the car. I spent $100 on fuel and picking it up, $25 on cleaning supplies, $150 on gaskets, $50 on a tensioner, $10 in power steering fluid, and I ended up spending about $150 on cooling components, crossover pipe, O-ring, thermostat housing, things like that. So for under $2,000, I have a 25 to 30 mile a gallon all-wheel drive stick shift daily driver that I can beat the hell out of and have fun with. Also, it opens up to another thing that depends on all of our viewers. I have toyed with the idea of lifting the Element, calling it the Hellement, and putting a turbo on it, and then just seeing how far we could take that stock K24. And if you guys want to see me slap a turbo on that thing, all I need is, I don't know, let's say 15,000 views on this video, which is way more than we ever get. So if I get 15,000 views on this video, I will turbo and lock the all-wheel drive system on that Element, and I'll make it a straight up gripper and ripper. Pretty safe though, because we get like 1,200 views per video. So I'm fine, I'm in the clear. So if you're wanting to see me jam a turbo somewhere back here, you gotta holler at your boy. But this thing actually turned out way better than I thought it was going to. I've never done anything maintenance wise on a K-Series before, and it was straightforward as hell. And shout out to the help from the homies that lended a hand on this thing. But maybe I'll just go another round and put a system back in this thing and just get the trunk thumping. And the saddest view of this whole story is my Mike Lau Racing Engines engine and my FTI trans, my PTC converter, out of the RX-7, awaiting its new owner. It's just kind of, it's emotional. That engine's a bad bitch. And on the subject of engines, we also have an update here. Look at that. So this is the 2JZ, well, 1.5 JZ. It's a 2JZ bottom end. We got K1 rods, CP pistons, and I got a 1JZ head, cams, full valve train. Dynasty, Brock Bogue from Dynasty got this short block together for me, and it is going to be going in the S14 when I get that unit back from Body Shop. So hopefully before snow starts to fly, we'll be able to get some miles on the S14. It's obviously getting a little chilly outside now, but we'll see what we can put together. So I know that I'm mean to Jasmine, but I got you an apology present for spraying you with nitrous the other day. And then yelling at you, babe! And then
I'm not sharing any of this.
you don't have to, but either way.
All mine.
Psych! Oh, yeah! Got you, girl! Just for contextual purposes, somebody sat on my pillow this morning and farted. Who was that?
You cupped a fart and put it in my face.
You farted on my pillow, so...
No,
My personal opinion is that farting on somebody's pillow is worse than cupping a fart and throwing it in their face, though. Just...
Nobody farted.
Everyone agrees. They're on the chat. Everyone's live feed. And they're all saying I'm right, which is...
Nobody farted.
End of the show. Bye, everybody. Ha, ha, ha.